Most B2B experts don't have a sales problem. They have a timing problem. But when they're busy delivering, their pipeline starves. And when the work dries up, they scramble to fill it. And by the time they're visible again, so they're posting, reaching out, following up, they're doing it from a position of urgency that prospects can feel. The cycle repeats, and every time it does, it costs more energy than last time. I'm Anita Toth, a reputation-led revenue advisor, and I work with B2B experts like agency founders, consultants, and coaches who have built something real on reputation and relationships, but keep hitting the same wall when it comes to revenue. Well, this video is all about that wall. Specifically, why your pipeline keeps collapsing when the usual advice about fixing it actually makes things worse. And what's sitting underneath the problem that nobody talks about. So I'm going to walk you through 3 things I see happening with almost every B2B expert I work with. And if any of this sounds familiar, that's the point. First is the feast-or-famine cycle. Let's start with the pattern most B2B experts know intimately, but rarely say out loud. You have a great month. Maybe you have 2 or 3 great months. The work is good, the clients are happy, you're busy, and then something shifts. Maybe an engagement wraps up or a client pauses, and suddenly you're looking at your pipeline and realizing there's not much in it. So you scramble, you reach out to people, you follow up on proposals you'd have forgotten about, you post more on LinkedIn, you hustle your way back to busy, and then you're too busy to build anything again. And the cycle repeats. This is the feast or famine cycle. And here's what I want you to hear. It has nothing to do with how good you are at what you do. I work with genuinely exceptional people at their work, but the feast or famine cycle doesn't care about that. It happens because how the business is structured, not because of how hard you're working. And here's a question worth sitting with right now. When you were fully absorbed in delivery, so when your calendar is full, your clients are happy, what is running your business to keep that pipeline warm? Not what could be running it, but what actually is. For most B2B experts, the honest answer is nothing. And that single gap is what creates the collapse every time. The second one is the grind is actually the symptom, not the cause. And here's where it gets interesting. Because most of the advice out there about fixing your sales pipeline has to do with more. So they tell you to do more, post more content, send more outreach, run more ads, be more visible, just hustle harder. Look, I get it. Yeah, I've been there too. I once sent 350 cold DMs in 2 days. You know what I got out of that? 9 discovery calls, 4 sales calls, and a big fat 0 clients. Then I reached out to someone in my network just to catch up with her. I had no agenda. And during that conversation, she became a client. To me, that's not coincidence. That's just a completely different model. The grind exists because there's no system running in the background when you're busy with delivery. So cold outreach, content treadmills, chasing every lead, those aren't growth strategies. What they are gap fillers. They work just enough to keep you moving and not quite enough to build something that actually compounds. I had one client, she was a consultant who'd been running global workshops, had incredible visibility in her space, and still found herself scrambling between engagements. And she told me, I built the credibility, I just never built the system behind it. And that's it exactly. Visibility without a system is not a pipeline. It's just noise that occasionally converts. The alternative to the grind isn't doing less. It's doing something different. So start with your warm network, the people you already know, who trust you, and who have seen your work up close. Just take 20 minutes this week and write down every person you've worked with in the last 3 years who genuinely valued what you did. So these might be past clients, but they also might be referral partners, collaborators, people who said great things about you and meant it. This is not a list about your entire contact base. It is the foundation of a pipeline that doesn't collapse the moment you stop pushing. And most B2B experts have never looked at it that way. Most have never even looked at it at all. Which brings me to the third point, and that is the business collapses without you. This is the one nobody says out loud, and I'm going to say it because it's the real issue underlying everything else. If you stopped working tomorrow, how long would your revenue hold? For most B2B experts I speak to, the honest answer is not very long. And that's not because they haven't worked hard. It's because their entire pipeline lives inside their heads and runs through their personal relationships. Every deal comes through them. Every client relationship depends on them showing up, and there's no system behind it. I worked with a B2B consultant who thought her business was stable, so she had 3 really solid clients, good revenue, things felt okay, and then one of her clients left. And it had nothing to do with her. It was just there was a change of leadership on their side. But overnight, her income dropped 30%, and she realized she'd been so absorbed in delivery that she never built anything to replace what she just lost. That moment, that specific feeling of, I didn't see this coming and now I'm scrambling, that's what I hear from almost everyone I talk to at some point. And truly, it feels unfair because you were doing everything right, but the model had a structural gap in it the whole time. So here's a quick audit you can run right now. 3 questions. 1, how many active client relationships do you have that could generate a referral this month? Not someday, like this month, right now, if you ask the right way. 2, how many warm contacts have you had a real conversation with in the last 30 days? And 3, of those conversations, how many were genuinely talking about their business rather than yours? If the honest answers are low, then you don't have a pipeline problem. You have a relationship system problem. And unlike the grind, that's something you can actually fix without burning yourself out to do it. So here's what I want you to take away from this. The pipeline collapse, the feast-or-famine cycle, the grind that never stops, these are not hustle problems. They're not even visibility problems. They're not even sales problems. They're a foundation problem. And that foundation that's missing isn't something that you have to build from scratch. You've already been building for it for years. It's sitting in your existing client relationships, your reputation, and your warm network. You just haven't been shown how to turn it into a system yet. And that's what the silent revolution does. Takes what you've already earned and builds a structure around it so that your best clients stay longer, they send people like themselves to you, and the right work starts arriving without you grinding for every inch of it. If any of this landed, you're a little bit curious, here's where to go next. You can learn more about how I work and what the silent revolution builds at my website, hiddenrev.com. And if you want to start a conversation directly with me, I hang out a lot on LinkedIn. I'm easy to find and I read every message. Your pipeline doesn't have to keep collapsing. The relationship that can stabilize it are already around you. You just need a system to activate them. And that's actually the best news in all of this because you've already done the hardest part. You've built the relationships, you've built your reputation. The system is the last piece, not the first. I hope this was helpful for you. Take care and bye for now.